Imagine a family who controls 35% of a city's electricity, owns its most iconic hotels, and commands an empire worth over $12 billion. This family has not just survived, but thrived, though 140 years of monumental upheaval, from the fall of empires to changing global powers. He's the most insedible Pat. They didn't stat wealthy. They began as Jewish refugees, fleeing persecution with nothing but determination. Today, they are one of Asia's most powerful dynasties, with tentacles reaching into every corner of Hong Kong's economy. The secret? They built this empire by betting on Hong Kong when everyone else thought it was worthless, a Malaysian backwater. The Kadoories saw a different future. They recognized Hong Kong would become the indispensable gateway between China and the world. They were 8. Today, Hong Kong is a global financial center, and the Kadoories control key pieces of the infrastructure that makes it all work. China Light and Power, the flagship company, has provided electricity to 80% of Hong Kong's population for over a century. The Peninsula Hotels Group sets the global standard for luxury hospitality, hosting world leaders and movie stars for 95 years. The property portfolio includes some of the most valuable real estate on Earth. The numbers are staggering in every dimension. But the real genius isn't their wealth. It's how they maintained power through political transitions that destroyed other dynasties. They survived the collapse of Imperial China, the Japanese invasion, British decolonization, and Chinese unification. Instead of losing influence, they actually increased it. They mastered political adaptation without compromising their business principles. They remained non-political while building relationships with every government that controlled Hong Kong, a true testament to strategic diplomacy. This is the story of how Jewish refugees from Baghdad became the unofficial royal family of Hong Kong. Their tale begins far from luxury. Baghdad's Jewish community had prospered for centuries, controlling significant regional trade, particularly textiles, spices, and metals. But the late Ottoman Empire grew increasingly hostile. Economic deterioration, political instability, and rising nationalism created dangerous conditions. Young Jewish men faced military conscription and punitive taxation. Eli Kadoorie recognized his family's future lay outside the collapsing empire. His destination choice was crucial. While many fled to Europe or America, Eli chose Asia. Why? Unprecedented opportunities, enormous risks. The Asia of the 1880s was undergoing evolutionary transformation. European colonial powers were establishing trade networks and infrastructure. But these opportunities came with extraordinary challenges: catastrophic disease rates, constant political instability, and minimal commercial regulations. Success demanded navigating complex networks of colonial officials, Chinese merchants, and local power brokers, a true test of adaptability. Crucially, the Asian colonial environment evaded the exact skills Middle Eastern Jewish merchants had developed over centuries. Eli Kadoorie possessed advantages others lacked: fluency in multiple languages, a deep understanding of complex trading, and Sephardic networks. When Eli arrived in Shanghai in 1880, the city was experiencing unprecedented growth, integrating with global markets for the first time. Shanghai's international settlement provided a unique regulatory environment, operating under European commercial law, yet maintaining Chinese practices. But Shanghai was extraordinarily competitive. Established trading houses and wealthy Chinese families dominated. Eli needed a breakthrough. His beak, though, came from recognizing opportunities established players wouldn't pursue. While others focused on tea and silk, Eli identified kerosene. This required extensive travel, relationship building with Chinese retailers, and navigating complex regional regulations. It was patient work. Lean's success in Chinese markets equipped patient relationship building and adapting to local preferences rather than imposing foreign practices. The kerosene business generated crucial capital and commercial relationships, enabling expansion into more sophisticated opportunities. By 1890, Lee was a successful entrepreneur in Shanghai, yet he was already looking beyond. He saw another undervalued opportunity: Hong Kong. Most investors still viewed Hong Kong as a colonial outpost with limited economic potential, but the Kadoorie family specialized in identifying undervalued assets. Hong Kong offered legal stability, access to Chinese markets, and international shipping, and its concentrated population created monopolistic opportunities. This decision to focus on Hong Kong over Shanghai would prove one of the most consequential strategic choices in Asian business history. His sons would inherit not just wealth, but strategic insights, long-term infrastructure investment, cross-cultural business, and political adaptation. In 1906, Kadoorie made the decision that would define his family's destiny. He committed to building major business operations in Hong Kong. Still seen as a backward, Hong Kong's population barely exceeded 300,000. It seemed insignificant compared to other major Asian cities. But Lee's analysis identified its unique appeal: British legal stability, a strategic natural harbor, and concentrated geography for monopolistic control. He chose infrastructure over traditional trading. While trading houses were vulnerable to political changes, essential services offered permanent advantages. Lee's first major Hong Kong investment was establishing China Light and Power Company in 1901, a tiny operation in its infancy. Most relied on gas, kerosene, or candles, but Lee recognized electrification was inevitable as Hong Kong modernized and grew. The question wasn't if demand would develop, but who would control the infrastructure. By expanding capacity ahead of demand, CLP achieved dominance. Initial challenges were enormous: importing expensive equipment, recruiting skilled technicians internationally, and developing networks across difficult terrain. Convincing residents to adopt electricity meant overcoming cultural resistance and demonstrating reliability. Lee had to prove its worth. Lee solved these through systematic investment in superior technology and custom service, building a reputation for reliability and innovation. They invested in the most advanced technology available, ensuring service quality exceeded customer expectations. No cutting cones for the Kadoories. The customer service was equally sophisticated: free installation, equipment maintenance, and flexible payment terms made electricity accessible to all. Crucially, expansion prioritized reliability and capacity development over immediate profit maximization, a long-term play. By 1910, China Light and Power controlled 60% of Hong Kong's electrical market. The real value, though, was in infrastructure control. Real estate investment was the logical complement. Lee recognized electrical power would dramatically increase property values and urban growth. His strategy focused on acquiring undervalued properties in areas set to benefit from electrification and urban development, based on careful analysis. The Kadoorie real estate portfolio emphasized commercial properties, office buildings, warehouses, retail spaces generating both income and appreciation. Financial services formed the third pillar. Hong Kong's sector was dominated by British banks, but middle markets were underserved. The Kadoorie approach, relationship banking, serving Hong Kong's growing community of Chinese entrepreneurs and small international trades. The integration of infrastructure, real estate, and financial services created synergistic advantages, each enhancing the others. By 1914, the operations generated significant profits. but World War I tested their resilience, creating new opportunities for expansion. Eli positioned his family to benefit from Hong Kong's development during wartime. His sons, Lawrence and House, would build on this foundation. The Hong Kong Foundation proved crucial for surviving the political upheavals and military conflicts that would dominate Asian history. The Kadoorie family positioned themselves to thrive when most other businesses would struggle to survive. Their model proved enduring. The transformation of China Light and Power into Hong Kong's dominant utility empire is a masterpiece in infrastructure monopolies. Under Lawrence and House Kadoorie, the company grew from 15,000 to 2.5 million customers, becoming essential to Hong Kong's economy. The achievement wasn't just scale, but creating regulatory and operational advantages that made competition virtually impossible. The Kadoorie brothers built an empire that became more valuable and secure as the region they served became more prosperous. The strategic foundation, understanding that utilities in small territories could achieve natural monopoly status, though superior infrastructure and service. Lawrence Kadoorie combined engineering excellence with sophisticated financial planning, enabling continuous expansion ahead of demand. They consistently invested in capacity 5 to 10 years in advance of equipment, a strategy that reduced short-term profit but ensured long-term dominance. Customer service innovations were equally important, extensive training programs, equipment maintenance, and fee technical support. The billing and customer service systems prioritized convenience, making electricity accessible to small businesses and residential customers. The regulatory strategy was perhaps most crucial. Lawrence positioned CLP to benefit from regulation rather than being constrained by it. They voluntarily adopted service standards, safety protocols, and eligibility requirements that exceeded governmental regulations, making competitive licensing impossible. CLP also developed cooperative relationships with Hong Kong's government, providing mutual benefits and ensuring political support for their monopoly. During World War II, CLP's strategic value became obvious. Japanese occupation authorities protected operations as electricity was essential. Chinese communist forces refrained from sabotage, and British authorities prioritized restoration. CLP transcended normal political divisions. Post-war expansion demonstrated how effectively the Kadoories positioned CLP to benefit. Demand for electrical power increased exponentially with Hong Kong's growth. Sophisticated financial engineering enabled massive expansion without diluting family control. They issued bonds, attracted international investment, but maintained management. These complex arrangements offered investors stable returns, while capital appreciation and operational control remained under Kadoorie family management. Technical innovations established global industry benchmarks, thermal efficiency, underground distribution, and incredibly low loss rates. Load management and demand forecasting capabilities minimized capital equipments while ensuring adequate power supply during peak demand periods. By 1980, CLP achieved operating margins exceeding 15% and a stock value increase of over 2,000%. Extraordinary results for Kadoorie wealth. The real strategic value, demonstrating how infrastructure control could provide permanent competitive advantages that became more valuable as territories progressed. The Peninsula Hong Kong, opened in 1928, wasn't just another luxury hotel. It was the foundation of a global empire. The Kadoorie both saw luxury hospitality as a strategic opportunity to create institutional relationships with Asia's most powerful people. Its location in Tsim Sha Tsui, adjacent to the Star Fe, made it the natural arrival point for international visitors, strategically placed. The real innovation was service standards that exceeded anything in Asia, blending European luxury with Asian hospitality. The Kadoories managed guest relationships as long-term strategic assets, building emotional connections far beyond commercial transactions. The Rolls-Royce fleet symbolized luxury, but also served business intelligence. Drivers provided insights into guests' activities and commercial interests. The guest list reads like a who's who of 20th century world leadership. These relationships provided unprecedented access to information and influence. Expansion during the 60s and 70s leveraged these relationships. New properties became platforms for expanding Kadoorie business and influence networks. Properties like the Beijing Peninsula opened doors in China, while the New York Peninsula showcased Asian luxury in Western markets. The strategic value extended beyond hospitality. Hotels provided venues for business meetings and intelligence networks, gathering crucial market information. Financial performance demonstrated brand equity. High occupancy, premium pricing, and customer loyalty, immune to competitive pressure, defined them. Guests remained loyal for decades, recommending properties to associates and family. Emotional connections, though superior service, created permanent relationships. The peninsula's resilience during economic downturns and political crises demonstrated the defensive characteristics of luxury brand positioning. The hotel kingdom provided influence and access, enhancing events across the entire Kadoorie business portfolio, a truly unique advantage. December 25, 1941. Christmas Day marked the fall of Hong Kong to Japanese forces. The Kadoorie family faced its greatest test. The occupation threatened to eliminate 40 years of business development and endangered their personal safety as prominent Jewish leaders. But the years demonstrated the resilience of empires built on essential infrastructure and relationships rather than purely financial assets. The Kadoorie both anticipated invasion and implemented contingency plans. Unlike many, they remained in Hong Kong to protect their operations directly. This decision required extraordinary courage. Japanese authorities viewed prominent Jewish leaders as potential security threats, leading to constant surveillance. China Light and Power presented both the greatest risk and the most important opportunity, essential for Japanese operations, yet a potential compromise. The approach: maintain technical control while providing necessary cooperation, positioning themselves as essential technical specialists, not political collaborators. Japanese authorities needed CLP's expertise. Their engineers lacked knowledge of Hong Kong's grid. This mutual dependency created influence. The peninsula adapted, convincing Japanese authorities that continued hotel operations, providing luxury and diplomatic venues, served their interests better than conversion. Financial survival equipped sophisticated strategies, diversifying assets across multiple currencies, jurisdictions, and investment vehicles. Most importantly, they maintained relationships with Chinese, British, and American figures, crucial for post-war reconstruction. Staff management demonstrated the value of employee loyalty, developed over decades. Employees protected assets and maintained capabilities. The liberation of Hong Kong in August 1945 created immediate opportunities for leaders who maintained operations and relationships during occupation. CLP's infrastructure was maintained, enabling immediate resumption of service. The peninsula rapidly returned to luxury standards. The 21st century was a time of relationship management, provided access to financing and influence, positioning them for accelerated growth during the post-war economic boom. The decade following World War II represented the greatest expansion period in Kadoorie family history. Hong Kong transformed into Asia's hub. The Chinese Civil War created millions of refugees who brought capital, skills, and business networks to Hong Kong. A new era dawned. Lawrence and House Kadoorie immediately recognized that Chinese refugee capital would drive Hong Kong's economic transformation, boosting Thai MP. CLP's expansion during the 1950s exemplified this. Hong Kong's population boomed, demanding more power, which CLP was ready to provide. The real strategic advantage: anticipating demand growth and building capacity ahead of equipment, investing heavily when others were just resting. By 1960, CLP controlled over 70% of Hong Kong's electrical market, generating operating margins exceeding 20%. Monopoly solidified. Financial engineering allowed expansion while maintaining family control. They issued bonds to international investors, retaining operational command. Real estate development during this period reflected equally sophisticated thinking about how Hong Kong's geography would influence property values over decades. They emphasized mixed-use projects combining residential, commercial, and office spaces, generating diverse revenue streams and appreciating in value. Notable projects included residential developments in mid-levels and commercial complexes in central, providing premium spaces for the growing affluent. The integration of infrastructure, real estate, financial services, and hospitality seated synergistic advantages. Each sector supported and enhanced the others. Electrical infrastructure increased property values, real estate created demand for electricity, financial services provided capital, hotels offered relationship development. By 1965, the Kadoorie family controlled operations generating over $500 million annually, employing over 10,000 people throughout Asia. The most important achievement: establishing business models that could generate value regardless of Hong Kong's long-term political status. Infrastructure control, real estate ownership, and relationship development proved to be permanent competitive advantages, transcending political systems. 1984, the announcement of Hong Kong's return to Chinese sovereignty sent shockwaves, but for the Kadoories, it was another opportunity. Most international businesses developed exit strategies. The Kadoorie family chose a radically different approach. They increased their investments. Michael Kadoorie, representing the fourth generation, led this transition, systematically building relationships with Chinese political leaders and institutions. Instead of viewing Chinese authority as a threat, they positioned themselves as valuable partners for Chinese development objectives. This involved extensive travel to Beijing and Shanghai, participating in economic conferences and policy discussions, demonstrating commitment. CLP's expansion exemplified this confidence, investing billions when others were reducing commitments, even expanding into Guangdong province. Crucially, they secured regulatory arrangements, scheme of control arguments, guaranteeing reasonable returns and operational independence post-1997. The Peninsula Beijing, opened in 1989, became the flagship property foe, demonstrating successful operation under Chinese sovereignty. Its international reputation attracted Chinese leaders, diplomats, and executives, proving the family's ability to operate successfully under new frameworks. Additional Peninsula properties across Asia established a regional network serving both Chinese development and international business requirements. Real estate investment reflected confidence. Instead of selling properties, the Kadoories acquired more, developing projects for local and international markets. Office developments attracted Chinese financial institutions, while residential projects served Chinese executives relocating to Hong Kong. Financial services adapted to serve Chinese development, providing services to Chinese companies seeking international investment and helping Hong Kong businesses expand. This acquired expertise in Chinese commercial law and regulatory requirements alongside maintaining international financial relationships, a dual capability. Cultural and philanthropic activities showcased their commitment to Hong Kong's long-term prosperity, building relationships with diverse community groups. The 1997 handover proceeded smoothly for Kadoorie operations, validating the assessment Chinese authority would enhance, not threaten, the business. By 2000, Kadoorie businesses generated over Hong Kong dollars 20 billion in annual revenues, employing over 30,000 people. Their long-term strategy paid off. The China transition proved the mastery of political transition management, building foundations for continued success under any future arrangements. Today, the Kadoorie family controls a business MP worth over 12 billion, maintaining influence FA beyond the formal holdings. China Light and Power remains the crown jewel, generating over 50 billion Hong Kong dollars annually, serving millions in Hong Kong and southern China. The technical achievements set global standards for utility efficiency and environmental protection, with millions of tons of greenhouse gas reduced. The most remarkable achievement: sustained profitability, providing consistent dividend returns to Kadoorie family shareholders for over a century, is greater than the most remarkable achievement: sustained profitability, providing consistent dividend returns to Kadoorie family shareholders for over a century. No, I will rewrite. The most remarkable achievement: sustained profitability, providing consistent dividend returns to Kadoorie family shareholders for over 100 years. Peninsula Hotels has evolved into the world's most prestigious luxury hotel brand, operating in major cities globally, commanding premium pricing. The guest services continue to set industry standards, creating customer loyalty that spans multiple generations without conventional advertising. Financial performance demonstrates premium pricing power. Average daily rates 20 to 30% higher than competitors, with occupancy rates above 85%. Real estate operations continue to generate substantial returns, though development and investment management leveraging their deep knowledge of Asian markets. The strategy emphasizes long-term value creation, though urban planning participation and strategic property acquisition, prioritizing capital appreciation. Recent developments include mixed-use complexes with green building certifications, maximizing land utilization and development returns. Venture capital and technology investments, the newest sector, recognizing tech innovation, will determine future economic opportunities. The investment approach emphasizes early-stage companies developing technologies that enhance infrastructure, sustainability, and customer service. Philanthropic activities continue expanding, supporting education, environmental conservation, and cultural organizations across Asia. The Kadoorie Farm and Botanic Garden is the most visible philanthropic achievement, providing environmental education and research. Political relationships continue to provide competitive advantages, demonstrating their ability to maintain influence across different governmental systems. The approach emphasizes non-partisan contribution to economic development and social welfare, rather than political advocacy or criticism. Financial performance demonstrates exceptional returns, consistently exceeding market benchmarks, with annual returns typically exceeding 12 to 15%. The integrated structure creates synergistic advantages. Infrastructure provides stable cash flows, funding expansion in more volatile sectors. Wealth accumulation over 140 years positions the Kadoorie family among Asia's wealthiest dynasties, employing over 40,000 people. Succession planning ensues family control into future generations, with active involvement of fourth and fifth generation members. The modern legacy represents successful adaptation to changing conditions, political transitions, and competitive pressures, while maintaining family unity. The Kadoorie model continues influencing family business strategy throughout Asia and internationally, a testament to their enduring success. The Kadoorie family's entry into digital infrastructure is their most ambitious expansion since China Light and Power a century ago. CLP's fiber optic network now spans over 2,000 kilometers, providing high-speed internet. It leverages existing electrical infrastructure for new revenue. Smart Grid technology combines power delivery with real-time data analytics, automated load balancing, and predictive maintenance capabilities. This generates massive data about energy consumption and economic activity, providing unprecedented insights into Hong Kong's conditions. Data center operations are crucial, as Hong Kong serves as the gateway for international companies accessing Chinese markets. Majo Cloud Computing provides and financial trading systems, on Kadoorie infrastructure for the Asian operations, seating crucial dependencies. By controlling essential digital infrastructure, the Kadoorie family helps determine which international companies can operate effectively in Hong Kong. Environmental leadership is central. CLP's transition to renewable energy with solar and offshore wind projects reduces fossil fuel dependence. These investments create long-term cost advantages and position CLP to benefit from carbon trading systems and strict environmental regulations. The Kadoorie Farm and Botanic Garden has evolved into Hong Kong's premier environmental research institution, influencing regional policy. The sophisticated achievement, integrating environmental leadership with business profitability, creating competitive advantages rather than just imposing costs. The evolution of Kadoorie Financial Services into fintech leadership demonstrates how traditional businesses embrace technological innovation. AI applications enhance credit analysis and investment management, providing personalized services at scale while maintaining a relationship-focused approach. International real estate investment diversifies their property portfolio beyond Hong Kong, leveraging development expertise in major global cities. These strategic acquisitions provide geographic diversification, seating platforms for business expansion across multiple currencies and economic systems.